Hey, it is Michael and welcome to the channel. I want to start by asking you something. Do you have a weekly money routine? If you don't, you're going to want to keep watching this video because I have a 10-minute financial checklist that I go through every single week, and it's helped me totally transform the way that I manage my money. So if you like the idea of keeping more of the money that you make, give this video a like, consider subscribing, and we're to get right into this 10-minute checklist. There are 5 steps, and we'll begin now with step number 1. The first step is to log into the Personal Capital dashboard. If you're not familiar, Personal Capital offers free tools that sync up all of your financial accounts and track your net worth. It's similar to Mint.com, but I use Personal Capital more often because I like its free retirement planner. But for the weekly financial checklist, either service will do. What you're looking for is your current net worth. That's simply the value of your assets minus your liabilities. Personal Capital puts this information front and center when you log in. Take a look here at the sample dashboard. You see the information in the upper left corner as well as in the center of the screen. Now, don't be discouraged if your net worth doesn't change too much from one week to the next, because it's going to fluctuate, especially if you are invested in the stock market. However, you want to check in with your net worth using one of these tools every week just to see if you're on the right track. To get an accurate picture of your net worth, Personal Capital and Mint will require you to link up all of your financial accounts. But if you're not comfortable with that, there's another way. You can do it manually. Just open up Excel or Google Sheets and list all of your assets and all of your debts. You can calculate your net worth manually. That's just as good. After you've taken a look at your net worth, the second step of the weekly financial checklist is to check your bank account balances. And specifically, you're looking for the bank account where you pay most of your bills from, your checking account. For this step, I review my recent transactions and make sure that I have enough money in my checking account to pay for my upcoming bills, because that's coming up in our next step. What's the magic number? How much should be in that checking account? Well, that's going to depend on the person, but here's what has worked for me. As a general rule, I keep a checking account balance that is equal to 2 or 3 mortgage payments, and everything else goes to savings. If I've made a big purchase that I need to pay off, during this step, I'll take the opportunity to move money from my savings account to my checking account to cover it. But in general, I'm able to keep a relatively low checking account balance because I bank with an online bank, Discover Bank. It has no monthly maintenance fees. I have a link in the description below for my full review of Discover Bank. There are a lot of great online banks that do not charge all those fees that the big banks do. Moving on to step 3, and the third step of the financial checklist is to pay your credit card bills. And there are 3 main reasons why I pay my credit card bills weekly instead of just once a month. Here they are. I never miss a payment. By paying off my credit cards in full every week, I never have to worry about late fees. It helps me stay on budget. When I log into my credit card accounts every single week, I review my recent transactions. That way, I can identify any problem spending faster. My credit score gets a boost. Payment history and credit utilization affect your credit score the most. And here's proof. Take a look at this graphic from FICO. You can see payment history, 35% of your score, and amounts owed, 30%. This method really works. And here's more proof, a snapshot of my personal credit score. It is over 800 and it has been there for years. And the main things that have helped me do that are just paying my bills on time and keeping a low credit utilization by paying off the balances in full. Now, if you're not in the position to be able to pay off your credit card balances in full every week, maybe you could try this. Make the minimum payment every single week. That way you'll be able to get out of debt faster and you'll pay less interest in the long run. And if you're trying to improve your credit score, why not check it for free on a weekly basis as part of the financial checklist? Discover offers a free credit scorecard even if you're not a customer, but your credit card issuer may also offer a free credit score right on your dashboard where you pay your bills. It only will take an extra few seconds for you to check your score every week. And while we're talking about credit cards, if you want to earn more cash back, well, I've got a video that is just for you. It is about my big 3 strategy that focuses on using 3 credit cards to earn the most cash back in the categories where you spend the most money. I'll have a link to that in the description below, as well as a link to my website where you can learn more about the credit cards that I mentioned in that video. Step 4 now, and this is to pay any other bills that come in during the week. So if you go to the mailbox and you get a bunch of bills, you don't have to sit down every single day to pay them. Just hold them until your specific day of the week that you go through the financial checklist and then pay them. But I have to be honest, this doesn't happen all that much to me because most of my fixed expenses, well, I have them on auto pay. And just to be clear, I use autopay only for fixed expenses, things like my mortgage, utilities, and insurance payments. For variable expenses that I put on credit cards, I log into my accounts every single week to pay them because I want to take that extra opportunity to review my transactions and make sure that I have no wasteful spending that's creeping up on me. The 5th and final step of the weekly financial checklist is to review and make tweaks to your monthly budget if necessary. For my budgeting method, I use the Google Sheets app on my smartphone to look over my budget before I make a purchase, and then I record the transaction immediately after. Here's an example. Let's say that I'm going to the grocery store. I'll open the Google Sheets app on my phone and check my budget to see how much money I have left to spend on groceries for the month. Then, after I make the purchase, I'll open the app again and log the transaction, which will then update the main budget and show me what's left for the rest of the month. So although I am checking in with my budget every day as I'm making purchases, I will use this weekly check-in to move money around if necessary. What that means is, let's say in my groceries category, I'm on the verge of going over budget for the month. We'll say that I have $500 budgeted, but I really need $600. So maybe I'll take $100 from another category, let's say dining out, to cover it for that month. That is what I'll use the weekly financial check-in for as it relates to my budget. Following the 5 steps that I've outlined today will help you reach your money goals faster and with a minimal time commitment of only about 10 minutes a week. You know, a lot of people have a misunderstanding that those who are really into personal finance, people like you and me, that we are spending hours and hours a day or week managing our money. But that's just not the case because you just need to get the habits in place once, and then it becomes a whole lot easier and faster to manage your money. So here's your action plan. To get into the weekly routine, pick a time to complete your checklist and set a calendar reminder. For me, it is Fridays at 9 a.m. I get an alert sent to me on my phone, sit down at my computer, and then go through the 5 steps that I've just outlined in this video. And that way I have my finances in order before the weekend when I tend to spend a little bit more money. So I'm going to know what you think about my weekly money routine and this financial checklist. Are you already doing something similar? Leave a comment below and let me know what works for you. And if you found this video helpful, please like it and consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps me out here. I appreciate you watching today's video, and I'll see you next time on Michael Saves. Take care.